Hello, beautiful truth seekers, and welcome in or welcome back to the Third Flame Tarot. My name is Amber. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I cannot wait to get into this reading. So today's reading is going to be a bit of an extended from the last reading I did, which was titled Releasing Negative Thought Patterns Leads to Heightened Psychic Abilities. So I feel like that reading was way bigger than I even knew in the moment. I feel like there are a lot of pieces that I missed during that reading that have since come to life over the last day. And I really want to go over some of these things because it's a lot. So yesterday's reading was all about death, transformation, and rebirth. And there are a lot of things going on astrologically that matches up to that reading, which is pretty mind-blowing. So just really quickly, the reading was all about death and transformation. Now, that's been occurring not only in the spiritual realm, but it's actually occurring in the physical realm. And I didn't really understand that spirit could be being direct about death yesterday. And I was like, oh, it's being symbolic, it's a metaphor, right? But it's more than that. There's so much actual death, physical 3D death that is happening right now as well. I didn't even put this together. I don't know why, but my uncle passed away a couple of days ago, and he wasn't my blood uncle, but he was still family nonetheless, and we were close. And he passed away. And then it was an anniversary for someone I know, their family member passed away. And then I got to work today, and my boss told me that one of her clients passed away. And there's just, wow, a lot of death energy, which is really interesting because if you remember, not long ago, we had a lunar eclipse in Scorpio. Scorpio rules the 8th house in astrology, which is all about magic, taboo, death, it's the deepest, darkest house. It holds your deepest desires and secrets. It is symbolic of mystical and spiritual experiences. So that's a crazy astrological synchronicity. So we had the lunar eclipse in Scorpio, which was about death, transformation, the taboo, deep, darkest secrets. And yesterday's reading was about diving deep into the subconscious mind, facing those fears, facing those insecurities or perceived shortcomings. Really finding out what inside of you is keeping you from progressing in your spiritual evolution. So if you haven't watched that episode, go back and watch it, because I don't think that what's going to happen today will make a whole lot of sense. So go back and watch that episode if you haven't. But basically today, I want to kind of recap on what happened yesterday a little bit and tell you about some things that I found out about that reading. So the first card we got yesterday was the 12th house. The 12th house card and the 12th house in astrology is all about the deep subconscious. It's about psychic abilities, mysticism, right? It's the land of the dreams. It's the spirit realm. And it's the last house in the astrology wheel, which is death, right? The 12th house. It's the last house. So that's more death energy right there. And then we got the air card. Now, the air card is, I feel, very important because of the next card that came out, which was Pluto. But the air card symbolizes logical thinking, thought processing, communication. It's Gemini energy, the 3rd house. But another cool thing about the air card is that Pluto came out next. Now, I didn't know this. I don't really know a lot about astrology. I would love to learn, and that's a big reason why I'm here on YouTube, is to learn. But Pluto will be going into retrograde on May 2nd, and it will be in the sign of Aquarius for majority of its retrograde. It'll be in Capricorn towards the end of the retrograde, which will end October 11th, 2024. So that's just under 6 months that Pluto will be in retrograde. Now, I want to read you this article that I found about Pluto retrograde because it matches up to the reading from yesterday, which is just nuts. But really quickly, before I read you this, one of my best friends commented on the video from my last video about releasing negative thought patterns. And she told me about a dream where she had to clean up a hotel room, but she only had a limited amount of time. And I was getting visuals yesterday of cleaning your house, cleaning your mind, cleaning your thoughts. But she had a dream about cleaning a hotel room, and she only had 45 minutes to do it. And Pluto retrograde is only going to last just under 6 months. So there's going to be a limited time that Pluto is in retrograde. Does this mean that we have this window of opportunity where we are going to be able to resolve deep shadow aspects quicker and more efficiently? Is this window super crucial to our spiritual evolution as far as resolving shadow aspects of our souls? Kind of sounds about right, given that everything that's happened so far. But let me read you a little bit about Pluto retrograde, because this is mind-blowing. What is Pluto retrograde? To understand Pluto retrograde, you'll do well to learn how the planet of regeneration and the subconscious functions. Regeneration and the subconscious. It's the planet of regeneration and the subconscious. What? You'll do well to learn how the planet of regeneration and the subconscious functions when it's moving forward, aka direct. For a little more than half of the year, Pluto works by excavating your hidden truths and nudging you to deal with the shadow sides of life. Anything dark, taboo, or secretive underlying everyday life. It also tends to bring your attention to power struggles and control issues that might require addressing, while slowly but surely bringing down anything that's no longer serving you. Its greater purpose is to encourage you to start anew. The most fitting symbolism for Pluto, get this, the most fitting symbolism for Pluto is a phoenix rising from the ashes. The Phoenix card came out in the reading yesterday. That's why I've got it sitting out here. I've got a couple of cards. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But the Phoenix card came out in the reading yesterday. And this says, the most fitting symbolism for Pluto is a phoenix rising from the ashes. What? You can't deny that. Like, you cannot make that up. What the heck? Okay, so it goes on to say, planets moving direct affect us in a more external way, whereas their retrogrades tend to challenge us to grapple with their themes and energies in a more internal and emotional way. That said, when Pluto is retrograde, you could find yourself reflecting on ways in which you've given away or taken too much power or control. You could also become more aware and prepared to remedy any self-destructive behaviors or patterns. Still, because Pluto moves so slowly, taking anywhere from 12 to 31 years to make its way through each sign, the effects of its retrogrades are definitely felt less acutely than a faster moving planet like Mercury. You'll feel it the most when it's hitting your birth chart spot on. So keep track of your birth chart. Either moving over a planet or luminary, that's the sun and the moon, or forming a tight angle to it. To get a sense of whether that's the case this time around, you'll want to check your chart for any placements sitting at 0 to 2 degrees of any sign, but especially a fixed sign, meaning Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius. I'll put a link under this video with this article so you can go check it out, because there's a lot more in this article. And it even talks about each astrological sign, and so how Pluto retrograde will affect your astrological sign. So you might want to go check that out. But that was crazy, right? The Phoenix rising, I mean, that's no coincidence. That's spirit bringing messages clearly. But another card I got yesterday was the fox, remember? And the fox was a spirit guide that guides you through the afterlife into the spirit realm, right? It guides you into the death energy. So today I've got these two cards because I want to pull on them. I want to pull on the Phoenix and I want to pull on the Fox and see what comes out, because it seems like there's a spirit guide wanting to talk that has some advice or information for us. Because I feel like this Pluto retrograde is going to be very significant. Now is the time. The energy is ripe to do this shadow work. It's like we'll be able to accomplish more in a shorter period of time because the energy is right than we would any other time. But really quickly, before we move into the reading, I just want to tell you one more thing that popped up. So, actually a couple more things. As far as synchronicities go, I mean, I told you today that I ran into a lot of people that have been experiencing death in their own lives, like 3D death. And then I also encountered death today. So when I was all done with work today, I got into my car and I started driving. And this little black spider crawled out from like where the windshield meets the car body. And it started walking across the windshield. And I was like, oh, spider's in here. I need to get Spider outside. Now, side note, Spider is one of my spirit animals. So Spider always comes to me when there's like spiritual information going on, something's going on. But Spider came out and I was trying to get Spider out, but Spider didn't want that. Spider ran back into its crevice, and I watched it run over into its crevice in my car, and I noticed that it had made like a little web in the corner of where the windshield and the car body meet. And that little web was not there. I know it wasn't there like an hour before that event. And now it was there. So it had to have happened while I was out of the car for about an hour. It wasn't like a web, like the classical web. It was like a cluster of cobweb. But inside, in the center of the cobweb, was a little dead black fly. And I was like, whoa, some more death energy. Like, what is going on with all this death energy? It's just intense. Like, now is the time for transformation. Now the time is ripe. for transformation. But anyway, that spider synchronicity happened. And then also today, I kept seeing the number 47. And I see 47 every now and then. I've seen the number 47 pretty much my whole life. And I always thought that it was just a number of my spirit guide, of one of my spirit guides. I had never looked up the numerology or symbolism of the number 47 until today, like a half an hour ago. But I was seeing the number 47 today. I kept seeing it. A phone number called me, and it would be 47 at the end of it. I checked my bank account, and I had 47 cents in my bank account. I was behind a car today at a four-way stop, and the truck in front of me had a star bumper sticker, like a star, right? And it was an American flag star, and then it had a little box in the center that said troop number 47. And I was like, whoa, I saw that and I was like, whoa, that's not a coincidence right there. There's something in that. And I looked up the number 47, and let me share that with you. 47 in numerology. This might resonate with a lot of people. If you're going through, working through shadow self, I mean, you may be a very important healer. But let me just read you a little bit on the number 47. The sensitive healer. The archetype name is the sensitive healer. The digits in the number 47 add up to 11. The digits in the number 47 add up to 11, called the secondary digit sum, which again adds up to 2, called the primary digit sum, which resonates with the moon. The moon. Lunar eclipse, 12th house energy, high priestess moon energy, okay? Resonates with the moon. 47 is often written as 47/2, where the primary digit sum is placed after the slash. To understand 47 more in depth, we recommend you also read more about the secondary digit sum 11. I'll put a link to this article as well underneath the video. And the primary digit sum here. Okay, so the numerology of 47, its meaning and significance. The number 47 is a vibration about sensitivity, imagination, dreams, and hopes. It has a great talent in art and also possesses healing abilities. 47 can be a rebellious number in a quiet sort of way. It doesn't want to fit into society in the traditional roles. The number is often seen in the charts of artists, poets, and thinkers who wish to go their own ways. We have here the archetype of the misunderstood and sensitive loner. That describes me to an absolute T. So if that resonates with somebody else out there, like, keep your eyes peeled, because if you keep seeing the number 47, this might be for you too. And it helps make sense of, like, oh my gosh, wow, it's just in my chart. It's just in the stars for me to be like this. But anyway, let me continue. 47 is one of the most melancholy numbers. The number 4 is often unhappy and dreams of another place. The number 7 may be distant and live in a self-made parallel universe. Yep, that's me. 11 is a sensitive number that also often longs for the princess or prince of his or her dreams. So in 47, we find the 3 most longing and melancholic numbers. Well, if you could see that, you probably can't. I'll put a link into this article. But they put it 47-2 or 11-2 because 47 adds up to 11 and 1 + 1 is 2. So it's got 2 energy in it if you reduce the numbers. So they say In 47/4/2, we find the three most longing and melancholic numbers wrapped up into a single number. In imbalance, 47/2 gives a desire to escape from the world, and one that might prefer books, nature, or computers rather than human company. There can also be a tendency to melancholy and depression. So in balance, though, it's a number that stimulates artistic and creative abilities, and it gives an ability to create something unique that you can give to the world. You might be 47 years old. You might have a 4 and a 7 in your birthday. I mean, keep your eyes peeled for the number 47, because if it keeps reappearing for you, you might really resonate with this. But anyway, one more thing I want to add. I know this is a really long intro, but I feel like there's just so much to get out. One more thing I want to add. Now, before I ever start reading or pulling cards, I always make sure to cleanse the energy and do a prayer. So today I used my Palo Santo and cleansed the energy with Palo Santo and myself. And then I do my prayer. So I pray to the spirit guides and God to basically watch over me and guide me and allow me to be a clear and concise channel for spirit. I pray for no harm. I pray for the messages to be delivered. And then I use my singing bowl to clear the vibrational energy. And today, while I was using the singing bowl, the pitch got higher than I had ever heard it get before. Like, this singing bowl is usually a pretty low pitch, but today it was like screaming. And the energy was just so high. It was like I had to walk away for a second after that. I had to like back up and walk away. It was just really, really high energy. But after I came back, I sat down and I do a little bit of a meditation. So I went into a 5-minute meditation. And during this meditation, I visualized being in the deep ocean, the deepest, darkest depths of the ocean, and complete darkness everywhere except for one little bit of light. And as I got closer to this light, I realized that it was a jellyfish just pulsing. It was like a luminescent jellyfish just pulsing in the ocean. And I remember watching it and thinking of how beautiful it was. And then the first thing that came to mind was, oh, so that's what God's like? God's just a pulsing jellyfish without a brain? And I got, nope, that's wrong. The jellyfish is the universe. God is the soul. So God is the consciousness behind existence. And the 3D realm, the physical, the senses, sight, smell, taste, touch, feel, that's all part of the body of God. But yeah, that was a very intense visual I got. I don't know, has anybody had any synchronicities around jellyfishes today? What a cool visual that was. But anyway, I think that's all I've got to talk about to catch up right now. So I'm going to take a quick little break, and then when I come back, I want to start pulling some cards. I want to know more about this Phoenix card and why it's appearing. Like, what is it that needs to burn away? I know we need to eliminate negative self-beliefs or negative self-limitations. But what else can we focus on? Any more advice from Spirit on the Phoenix rising would be good. And then we also yesterday got the fox, remember? And fox symbolized the spirit guide that guides you into the afterlife or the spirit realm. So I feel like the spirit guide came through yesterday, and I would love to ask the spirit guide for any more advice or information on this Pluto retrograde and what we can expect during it and how we can further expand our spiritual growth and evolution during this time period. Because I really feel like we do have a small window here to really get in deep. So I'm going to take a quick break and then let's pull some cards.